Yeah, it's been a while since I've worked on this car, but what I'm going to do now is have a look around it, take an assessment of what parts and stuff I need. I'll also have a look at the brakes, which are pretty seized, take them to pieces, and yeah, see if I can solve the calipers, restore the calipers. So I've just removed the wheel. I have managed to unseize this brake. Lotus brakes are actually quite easy to remove. There's just one bolt at the back, sort of there, which I've already removed. And then the brake sort of pivots backwards, and you can remove from that spindle there. As you can see, all the springs, the shocks, bushings and all that, they've seen better days. I've managed to buy some new ones. The tie rod gaiter there is completely perished. That needs to be, I've got replacements for that, but probably it's going to be a complete pain in the arse to actually remove the tie rod, but we'll see. Chassis, as expected, is looking in reasonable shape. No rust or anything like that. It's zinc galvanized, so there shouldn't be any rust. Yeah, the clutch on this car is also working. There's no resistance at all from the pedal, so that's something I'll have to take care of. Yeah, when they've got the brakes and the clutch sorted out, there's no reason why it shouldn't be able to move on its own steam. But let me remove this caliper though anyway, and as I say, I've managed to unseize it, a couple of knocks on the back side of it with a hammer, and I'll try and remove the piston and see what it's like inside. So I've removed the brake caliper, and a couple more pumps of the brake should be enough to for the piston to pop out. It is coming out, so it's not completely seized, but yeah. So the piston's just about out there, it's leaking already, so I let it hang in there. I did buy some new brake lines for this car, so some steel brake lines, courtesy of Lotus bits. And so I'll just remove the caliper completely and take it in and have a look. Yeah, the inside of the piston there, the piston bars, I don't know if you can see it very well on the video, but they don't actually look too bad, so I think I'll give these a bit of a clean up and refurbish them, give them a paint and put it back on the car. So I've stripped all the components off the brake, as you can see. A better angle. Yeah, I mean, everything looks reasonable in there. Wasn't too much of a job to strip everything off actually. This bit I'll manufacture a new one. Double flares they are. All the other components that came off fairly easy without too much stress. So I've cleaned up the brake caliper now. I've cleaned it up a bit with a wire brush first, and then just yeah, soaked it down and rinsed it and dried it a little bit. So I'm going to cover it with a little bit of paint now and see if it sticks reasonably well. But I'll put the first coat on now. So let's see how it turns out then in the morning. We'll just finish spraying it. Yeah, then tomorrow I'll just start putting everything back together. So the pistons, the plugs, rubber bits and all that. Yeah, not the best paint job you'll ever see there, but it looks okay, and it should be sufficient to provide a little bit of corrosion protection. So I'm just ready to remount the caliper. I've put one of the brake pads already in the car. You can see the two clips, one at the top, one at the bottom. And there's also another one down there. And I've Re-grease that spindle there. So it's a question of putting the top bit of the caliper in there, the other brake pad behind it, and then sort of pivot it down and secure it with the 11mm bolt. So, all reassembled, just to bleed them now. So this is the back right wheel now. Just the brake's also very seized on this side. On the left side it's not seized at all, so I'll tackle that one last, even though that really should have been the first one I've tackled, and being as though it's furthest away from the brake cylinder, the master cylinder. But I don't know if you can see it particularly well there, but it's got copper pipes in there and they're looking fairly good shape. The springs, I've got new springs, I'll be changing them at some point. All the bushings as well. The caliper looks a bit rustier than the one at the front, so but I'll take it off and clean it up and see if it'll come out anyway. Bleeding the brakes with a pressure system. It's a Gunson system. Yeah, you provide the pressure through the tyre there, which sort of puts pressure in the system through that container there, which goes into your brake master cylinder. And then all you need to do is just turn the screw, the bleed screw on your wheels. And it's a nice system.